The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow alone. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Welcome into a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Ron Potesta with you. MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. On the show today, we are jam-packed. Jamie Hall from YSU will be calling in at 12:20. We made mention that this winter and spring, the YSU Sports Information Department's going to be busier than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest. Well, we will start talking a little bit about that because it's never too early to talk about YSU and the winter and spring sports. We'll catch up with one of the SIDs, Jamie Hall over at YSU. He'll be calling in on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline at 12:20. John Bayek, the head football coach of Struthers, will be chiming in at 1:20. Wildcats have a game in South Range this week, and Struthers has an opportunity to snap a 4-game winning streak of South Range's. South Range and Hubbard both undefeated. By the way, they play each other next Friday nights, and one of 3 games next week that potentially could have 5-0 teams going up against each other. But John Bayek and the Struthers Wildcats will try to prevent that from happening in the NE8s. 1:40 this afternoon, DJ Ogilvy, the head football coach of United. United is 4-0 on the campaign. They have a very interesting game on Friday night as they take on 3-1 Southern Local. So we'll hear from DJ Ogilvy, the head football coach of United, at 1:40. Ryan Williams, the head football coach of the Poland Bulldogs, will be checking in at 2 o'clock. Bulldogs lost their first game of the year to South Range. They have since won 3 games in a row. They'll be going up against undefeated Hubbard. So Struthers and Poland have an opportunity to break up what could be a battle of unbeatens next Friday. Struthers, as I mentioned, playing South Range. Poland is playing Hubbard, and both teams would like to hang the first L on South Range and Hubbard. So that's what we got going on right now. And, of course, you are more than welcome to call in on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. We made mention when I moved over here, I brought along some folks that I normally talk to from previous shows, and Joe and Uncle Jimmy. We are probably not going to have them for another week or so. Been busy with their real jobs. And that's always good. That's always good to have have real life get in the way of stuff. So hopefully we will have Joe and Uncle Jimmy on at some point during the football season. And I think that also with the Big Ten coming back next month and some return to normalcy, and I use air quotes, the SEC is back this week, and you got the ACC. So plenty of opportunities from that realm, and hopefully we'll get Joe and Uncle Jimmy to join me on Thursdays. We'll wait and see down the road. Tomorrow night, high school football, and plenty of it. Made mention of a few games that are tickling my fancy, and we can certainly ask you, the fans, which games are high on your list. Here are the Friday games. Non-conference games. Mooney will visit Boardman. Ursuline will take a trip up to Warren at Mullenkopf Stadium as they take on Harding. East is at Howland. Cheney will be traveling to Canfield as they take on the Canfield Cardinals. Forget about Cheney's 1-3 record. They have looked good the last couple of weeks. They beat Mooney last Saturday night 30-0. Prior to that, they had a lead on Austintown Fitch. Now they could not hold on to the lead, but Cheney played a very, very good game against an undefeated Austintown Fitch club. So Canfield might have their hands full. Canfield 4-0 on this campaign. Boy, I'll tell you, Coach Pavlansky is doing a bang-up job with this football team as Canfield looks to go to 5-0 on the campaign. Game outside of our area that will most definitely get an awful lot of attention, not just around here, but regional-wise. Garrettsville Garfield is going to take a trip to the suburbs of Akron as they take on Mogador. This should be a fun game. These two teams, they're in the same league, at least for this year. I believe next year, Garrettsville Garfield joins the MVAC. This is going to be a bang-up game. Garfield at Mogador. Mogador beat them last year. Garrettsville Garfield looking really, really good. Let's see. Saturday non-conference games. Austintown Fitch is taking on Benedictine. That game is going to be played at Euclid High School on Saturday nights, beginning at 7 o'clock. Again, we'll have T.J. Parker on tomorrow. We'll have the Fitch head football coach on tomorrow as Austintown Fitch gets ready for their game against Benedictine. And with Benedictine moving down from, or moving over, I should say, from D2 Region 6 to D2 Region 5, this could be a preview and possibly round one of a two-round get-together between these two teams. Could be fun. Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock, Kennedy will be taking on Gilmore Academy. And we made mention of this earlier in the week. We kid an awful lot about the fact Gilmore Academy is somewhere in the vicinity of $20,000, $30,000 for a kid to go to school, yet they don't do lights on their football field. And we love taking playful jabs like that. But the reality and the reason why they do not have lights on their football field is because there's a wildlife preservation that is near their football field, and by putting the lights on and playing Friday night football, they don't want to disturb the wildlife. It's a good reason. So that's why they don't have lights, and that's why they are more traditionally playing on Saturday afternoon when they're home. All right, Steel Valley Conference. Here are some of the. Actually, they're all going to be independent games or non-conference games, and we made mention. East is at Howland, Mooney is at Boardman, Ursuline is at Harding, Cheney is at Canfield. The Northeast 8 Conference, Lakeview, going to try to get their first victory of the season. They travel to Niles to take on the Red Dragons. Hubbard visits Poland. Again, Hubbard is 4-0 on the campaign. The Poland Bulldogs are 3-1. We tried to get Brian Hoffman on the program, unfortunately, and this is one of those things that, when you're doing a show between noon and 3, sometimes you're not able to get some of the football coaches on, mainly because they're teaching. And we've reached out to Coach Hoffman. Unfortunately, noon to 3 doesn't work for him, so that's good. We can always talk to him Friday nights after Running Points when the scoreboard show was on. they can certainly talk with Brian Hoffman, win or lose. And we certainly wish them the best as they go to Poland to take on the Poland Bulldogs. And again, Ryan Williams, the head football coach of the Poland Bulldogs, will be joining the program at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Girard takes a trip to the southern portion of Ashtabula County as Girard will go to Jefferson, and Struthers is going to take a trip down 46 past the Canfield Fairgrounds into North Lima. Technically Beaver Township, technically Greenford. Yeah, it's a Greenford thing. South Range hosting Struthers tomorrow night. We will have John Bayek, the head football coach of the Struthers Wildcats, on the program at 1:20. Struthers looking to go to 3-2 on the campaign. South Range 4-0 on the season. Mahoning Valley Athletic Conference Scarlet Tier. Waterloo is at Springfield. Waterloo 0-4 on the campaign. Springfield 4-0 on the campaign, and staring down a possible matchup with another undefeated team. Speaking of, Jackson Milton will be hosting Mineral Ridge. Mineral Ridge 1-3 on the campaign. Jackson Milton having themselves quite a year, as the Blue Jays are off to a 4-0 start. If Jackson, Milton, and Springfield both win, you're looking at a battle of 5-0 teams for the MVAC Scarlet Tier Championship in the final week of the regular season. One of potentially 3 games in conference play featuring unbeaten teams. We mentioned the Northeast 8. If Hubbard knocks off Poland and Struthers, let's try that again. If Hubbard knocks off Poland and South Range knocks off Struthers, both teams go to 5-0, and they would play each other in week number 6 of the high school football season, and that would determine the Northeast 8 Conference Championship. And it would be a battle of undefeateds. Go over to the Eastern Ohio Athletic Conference. Leetonia's playing East Palestine on Saturday night over at YSU. United will be taking on the Southern Local Indians down in Salineville. Both United and Leetonia are 4-0. If both teams win, you're looking at a 5-0 versus 5-0. United and Leetonia, 2 teams with 2 completely different styles of how to play football. Where United will chuck the ball down the field behind the talented arm of young Mr. Ogilvy. Meanwhile, the Bears will run it down your throat with the talents of Marco Ferry. So if these 2 teams are 5-0, it's a contrast of completely different styles for sure. But again, you have to play the games in week number 5 and see what happens there. But Waterloo is at Springfield in the MVAC Scarlet Tier. Mineral Ridge at Jackson Milton. McDonald and Western Reserve, these 2 teams, they don't like each other. And McDonald this year 3-1. Western Reserve is 2-2 on the campaign. Finally, Sebring looking to get their second win in a row. They take on 1-3 Lowellville at Struthers. And that will be Friday night, and again, Struthers is on the road, so Lowellville will play at Struthers High School on Friday night. Let's see. We go to the gray tier, the MVAC gray tier. Non-conference game. Toronto is going to take the trip from Jefferson County all the way up to Campbell. Now, Toronto used to be in the EOAC, and they got out because, well, they didn't like to travel to northern Columbiana County. They didn't like traveling to Leetonia and Columbiana and East Palestine. Well, tack on about another 30 minutes, and that drive is now, about an hour and a half? Somewhere in that vicinity. It's close to an hour and a half. Toronto will visit Campbell. And Mickey Sakura's team looking for their 3rd consecutive victory. They have not lost since they were defeated by Crestview in, I want to say, week number 2? I believe it was week 2. Brookfield and Champion has been called off. Lots of COVID issues over at Champion, so they are going to they're going to make that game up after the regular season, and they are assuming that they've marked a date down, assuming that both teams will be bounced from the playoffs. I mean, who knows? You might get on a really good roll, and if that's the case, then you probably don't play this game. I mean, let's be honest. If a team gets to the 10th game of the season, 6 regular season games, if you get to the 10th game of the season and you get bounced in the 4th round of the playoffs, then your season is over, because you're not allowed to play more than 10 games unless you are still alive in the postseason. So if you're champion, if you're Brookfield, sure, you want to play this game, but in the grand scheme of things, if you're not playing this game, well, that means that you're doing pretty damn good for yourself in the postseason. And frankly, that's all that matters. League championships, that's, in today's world, maybe 25, 30 years ago, league championships meant something. They surely don't mean that much anymore. It's more about getting into the postseason. And it's reality. I don't necessarily agree with it, but it is reality. Newton Falls is at Crestview. Crestview looking for their 4th straight victory, and Liberty will take on LeBray. LeBray with an impressive 27-13 victory over Champion last week. Liberty was defeated by Camel last week, 14-12, so Chad Allen will try to get his group back on track. Northeast Athletic Conference, we have Fairport Harbor at Ashtabula St. John. That's a non-conference game. Matthews is 3-1 on the season. They will be taking on undefeated Pymatuning Valley. And the Chalker-Wyndham game has been canceled as well. So Chalker 0-4, Wyndham 1-3. That game has been canceled. In the EOAC on Friday nights, Wellsville is at Columbiana, Valley Christian is at Lisbon, and United is at Southern. Saturday nights on the campus of Youngstown State University, East Palestine will take on Leetonia. Leetonia will be the home team. That the reason why this game has been put to YSU, a anonymous donor from Leetonia rented out Stambaugh Stadium. Yeah, rented out Stambaugh Stadium, and 1,500 people will enjoy the game on Saturday night between East Palestine and Leetonia. That's pretty damn impressive. You're renting out a college football stadium. You have my attention. Friday nights in the Eastern Buckeye Conference. This is a non-conference game, and it should be a good one. Undefeated West Branch, 4-0 on the campaign. They'll be taking on 2-2 East Liverpool. Liverpool has lost their last 2 games. We'll see what they can do Friday night against undefeated West Branch. In the conference, Salem, who is 1-3 on the campaign, they will be in Minerva taking on the Minerva Lions, barely into Stark County. Minerva High School is barely into Stark County, on the border between Stark and Columbiana counties. So there is your schedule for the high school football week number 5. We're going to take a time out. On the other side, we will hear from one of the sports information directors. Jamie Hall will be calling in on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. YSU and everyone is going to be busy. Starting this winter, late fall, with the YSU men's and women's basketball program, and then it just gets busier and busier and busier. We'll catch up with Jamie Hall coming up after this timeout. You're listening to a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com.
21 News.
Let's get right to our top story tonight.
More experienced reporters.
A new Wilmington restaurant.
GM Lordstown.
Telling more local stories.
We'll look at efforts
Boy
to
is
curb
recovering from a broken
around our
Good
valley.
afternoon.
in Niles.
We are here in Youngstown, right up.
Because you expect
It's important for everyone. No place like home.
more local news.
In Mercer County Court.
21 News is our valley's #1 local news.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods.
Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
Attention football fans, order Coca's Pizza tailgate package for only $54.99. You'll receive 24 slices of our delicious cheese pizza, 20 jumbo wings, and 2 of our famous foot-long pepperoni rolls. Coca's Pizza, we serve it hot.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Your Armstrong services are more important than ever. There are more and more connected devices in the home these days. To get the most out of your experience, you need a network that is always getting better. You deserve superior performance, and that's what Armstrong offers every day. Whether you're working from home, enjoying your favorite content together, or simply catching up while apart, count on Armstrong to keep you connected to what matters most.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Points on ysnlive.com. Ron Potesta with you. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline not open right now because, well, we're going to talk YSU, and joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline, one of the many SIDs that are about to get really, really busy. That would be Jamie Hall, and he joins us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. Jamie, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing pretty well, Ron. How are you?
I'm doing good, So let's talk a little bit about what is going on at Youngstown State, the calm before the storm, because this is going to be fascinating to say the least. The COVID world has pushed an awful lot of sports back to back. Starting with the YSU men's and women's basketball program, and then naturally you get the baseball and the softball, and that's normal. But then football is going to be played in the spring instead of played in the fall, and that kind of makes things a little bit different. Football, you guys are really, really busy, and that kind of makes a late winter, spring season even busier for you guys.
Well, absolutely. Right now we're trying to get ahead a little bit. We're still doing our photo shoots with like volleyball and soccer, and our women's basketball team just had theirs, and we're getting ready to set up our men's basketball one as well. So we're trying to stay ahead a little bit, so we're not too bogged down, or even more bogged down when those sports actually start playing. But yeah, we're going to have, we're anticipating. I don't want to say, you can't say anything's for sure right now. But we're anticipating we're having lacrosse and their first season in February, and you're going to have men's and women's basketball and football and bowling and track and field, and then baseball and softball, like you said, and so we're just going to have just about everything going on potentially in the spring, including soccer and volleyball. We don't, like I said, nothing's for sure. I mean, we're planning on it being that way. I think it's better to plan for everything, and if something happens in the spring, then a couple of sports aren't actually going to play in the spring, then it'll make life a little bit easier. But I think we got to plan ahead and think like we're going to be playing everything in the spring semester. So yeah, it's going to be a lot more busy than normal. So we have a strong staff of 5 in our department with Trevor Parks, John Vogel, Dre Smith. We have a new grad assistant named Tucker Quinn, and I are we're all we're looking forward to it because we want to see these athletes play. They've been really working hard. This, I guess, call it off season in the fall, which is kind of new for everyone. So we're trying to stay ahead a little bit.
Well, I mean, obviously, with 5 people and a bunch of different sports, everyone's going to be busy. Make no bones about that. And like I said, when you have the football team playing in the spring and you have large crowds, and we hope there are going to be large crowds at Stambaugh Stadium, sometimes it may take away some of the focus off of the normal spring sports. But as I made mention, Jamie, a couple of days ago, I'm very excited for what is going to be a very, very fascinating winter and spring at Youngstown State, because I truly believe there is a perfect storm that is starting to brew on the campus of YSU. You have a men's and women's basketball program that I expect both teams to be very good this year. A baseball program that showed that they were on the cusp of getting some really good things done before COVID struck this past spring. A softball program that was beating the daylights out of just about everybody before COVID hit. And with the football program, Coach Pelini is gone, but the cupboard was not left bare. There's plenty of toys in that cupboard for Coach Phillips. So I think that every single program that I just mentioned, all of these programs are going to have very good seasons, and that's going to make you guys even more busy.
Well, absolutely. But that's the fun part of the job is when your teams are playing well, and hopefully they get to the postseason. That's excitement, and that makes it fun. It's fun for the athletes, especially. Our softball team. Typically, when they go down south, they come back with an under 500 record. A couple years, few years they won like 4 games down south, and before spring break or during the early February tournaments and the spring break. They finished 8-7. They played Memphis. They beat Belmont. They played Butler fairly well last March. So there was a lot of excitement coming, for both baseball and softball because they had experience, talent, they were playing well. So there was a lot of energy. You could tell in both those sports. But obviously, unfortunately, the season got cut short. But those seniors are back, and like for softball, you had Maddie Lusk is back, and Liz Birkbeck is back, and Tatum Christie. All those seniors get another year. And Maddie Lusk was having a great year at the plate and in the circle. She got back to her normal form in the pitching wise last spring. So I think Coach Campbell has a really, really talented team coming back with the influx of the new freshmen, including Sophie Howe from Champion. So I think our spring is going to be long. Our spring semester is going to be long, action-packed. Hopefully, a ton of events. But that there's always a lot of events, and so we're just going to have to lace them up and see what happens.
Well, I'll tell you, before we get into the spring, the winter, and I just can't be happier with what John Barnes has coming back, what Jared Calhoun has coming back, and kudos to the folks running the YSU men's basketball Twitter accounts, spoon feeding just a little bit of excitement every single day, and I'm watching that and really looking forward to having Coach Calhoun come on the program once a week to talk YSU men's basketball and just the excitement that everyone in this area should have for not just the men's program, for the women's program as well. Jamie, you go back to the 90s when we had the 3 NCAA tournament teams and just a who's who of tremendous basketball talent on the campus of YSU, and the women's basketball team coached by the recently deceased Ed DeGregorio. You look at the team this year, my goodness, there is a post-play, a potential post-play from YSU that I don't think there's another team in the Horizon League that can that has the 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" caliber of players YSU has in the paint.
Well, yeah, that's true, and it's going to be exciting for all of us. I know Mary Dunn is back for us, and we had a couple injuries in the post last year with Mary and Emma sitting out or being injured and not being able to play. So threw a freshman in there and just was really worked. She really worked hard and got to gain a lot of experience. So we're going to have a really experienced post play now this year. Got Chelsea Olsen back, and who is one of the best players in the Horizon League as well. And on the men's side, Coach Calhoun, I think this is the team that he's envisioned having when he first got the job. You got tremendous talent, hard-working guys, smart basketball players, smart young men. With Darius Quisenberry, was one of the top players in the league. Naz Bohannon, one of our seniors, he was one of our core. He was like our first guy to sign with us. Garrett Covington, Michael Akuche, those guys are going to be leading the pack. There are four returning starters. We're going to have 6 seniors on this team. So with Christian Bentley and Jameer Thomas and Grayson Kelly, who transferred in. So we have experience now. We have senior leadership. So it's 8 returning letter winners, an influx of really talented freshmen. So it's it has the potential to be something special. We're excited for it. You can't take anything for granted because everyone's going to be working hard. The league is always tough. But there is like you said, a recipe there for some success. But our guys have to put in the work. They have to make shots, defend. They have to lay it out on the line when they're on the floor. But right now they're putting in the hard work right now. I know that for sure. So, but it is exciting. It's that time of year where we start to try and build some excitement. Our season's going to start a little bit later than we're accustomed to, but that's how we got to deal with. But like I said, they're working really hard, and because I think they know they could be a really good team, and we say that every year, but I think that this is there's something different about this team to me.
No question. No question about that. Jamie Hall from YSU, one of the SIDs over at YSU. You made mention the season is going to start a little bit later, not just the men's basketball program, the women's basketball program as well. Has the schedule been cut? How many games are we looking at?
Well, the NCAA came out and announced that the season can start on November 25th, which is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And you can have a maximum of 27 games, which includes like a multi-team event, 3 games. So you get 24, and then the 3 in the MTE get you to 27. So we're still kind of we're waiting for the conference schedule to be announced because we don't know exactly what format we're going to have. So we're still trying to plug in some games here and there. But yeah, you're allowed. Both men and women are allowed a maximum of 27.
Well, that's it's going to make 20 wins a little bit difficult because again, on a normal season, we're looking at 30 games. So you're cutting 3 games out of the equation, and I'm going to assume they're all non-conference games, which. No biggie, I suppose. Or you might. How many home games are we talking? Or 1 or 2 of the home games have been cut down?
I would, about that. I would say about that. I think last year we played 32. So we usually played like 31. We played 33 games last year. I'm sorry. But we played 31. They let you go from. 31 that included in like the MTEs. So, and then we were in 2 tournament games last year. So we had 33. So we're playing, about potentially probably 4 less regular season games this year. So I think we had like 2 home games cut in the early November part of the schedule. So, but we're like I said before, we're still waiting on our league schedule to know how many league games we're going to be playing. So that could affect the non-conference. So if you play 20, then you get 7 non-conference games. If you're playing 22, you don't have to find 5. So we're just kind of waiting to sort all that out, see what the coaches and the ADs and the president say about the league schedule, so we can get this thing going.
Jamie Hall from Youngstown State University joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. And, if spring and winter weren't busy enough, now you got football. The Missouri Valley Football Conference closing down the football season in the fall, but they have decided that they are going to play football in the spring. So fill us in on how many games we're looking at, and when does the season start, Jamie?
Well, we are going to be playing 8 games, and I think sometime later today, the Missouri Valley Football Conference is expected to announce the schedule. So I'll wait till they do that and let them do that. But it should be later today.
All right, and obviously with football comes the tailgating, and obviously the tailgating is just one of the many wonderful things about the YSU experience. You guys have a new tailgating lot that we didn't talk very much about because, unfortunately, COVID kind of ruined everything. But you guys have a new tailgating lot, an extended tailgating lot, if you will.
Oh, it's on the behind the east side stands. We had it for the 2019 season, and it's a great lot because you can just come off Elm Street and park, and it's easy access to the stadium. So it's but anyone who's interested in tailgating needs to call our marketing and office and sign up for tailgate passes, and hopefully we're come spring we're allowed to have a packed house. But I think everything right now, regards to tailgating and football games, is kind of in flux because we don't know what's going to happen. Can't with the COVID and and the limits to attendance and we have a great new tailgate lot behind the Don Constantini Center between that and the Watson and Trestle training site. It's right off of the Service Road and Elm Street. So it gets a lot of use. It did in 2019. So we're excited to hopefully get that back for spring football, and hopefully things with this pandemic are settled down by then, and we can get our 20,000 fans and pack Stambaugh Stadium for spring football.
Hey, Jamie, before we let you go, you made mention about the potential of the attendance, and it would obviously the question needs to be asked. Beagley is one of those places, one of the many places that will most definitely be affected. And assuming that we don't have an answer for COVID and the rules remain the same, that only so many people can come into the basketball arena to watch the Penguins play. Do you guys have enough tickets available after the season, ticket holders, to have some sells to the public, or are the season ticket holders basically going to be scarving up all of the tickets available for the upcoming basketball season, assuming the numbers remain the same with COVID?
I believe we do. I'm not exactly sure how many that's going to be. We're hoping to get a variance from the governor to allow more than that 15% or 300 number that he has announced for indoor events. So we're just going to kind of wait and see how things go with that in regards to that. But that's a tough situation with the tickets. But we're just going to see what we can try and get as many people in that as we're allowed. So I can't give you a definite answer on that because everything is so. We don't know how many people are renewing their season tickets. So that number kind of is in flux. So, but hopefully we can get this thing settled quickly and we can get as many people into Bigley Center as we're allowed. So.
Well, Jamie, I suggest energy drinks. Lots of energy drinks for the winter and the spring, and between you and John Vogel and Dre and the rest of you guys,
Tucker.
A bunch of energy drinks for everyone. Okay.
Because we're gonna be here quite a bit, we think.
Yeah, you might want to pack a suitcase and have your PJs, because you may have a couple of really late nights on campus.
Yeah, that's for sure, and sometimes we may be down a person if they're traveling with one of the teams. So that's another thing we'll have to look into is that.
Oh, no question.
Might not have all five of us here at the same time.
No question.
Event, so.
Yeah, I mean, when the women's basketball program is on the road, I know Dre is very in touch with the women's program. You do the men's basketball program, and I absolutely. When you guys are on the road, you're following that team. So you'll always have at least one man down.
Probably.
When your team is on the road. So, but I know you guys are going to be able to get through it. And like I said, you'll be busier than a one-legged man at a butt-kicking contest.
Sure, we sure will.
Jamie, always a pleasure, sir. Look forward to seeing you this winter at Bigley.
Okay, thanks, Ron.
You got it. Jamie Hall, one of the 5 sports information directors, and it doesn't seem like a large number, but they'll get the job done. I mean, again, they'll equally distribute what is going on, and we only mentioned the sports that we always tend to mention: basketball, baseball, softball, football. There's other sports, and Jamie mentioned them, and man, you're looking at 8, 9, possibly 10 sports going on at the same time. You got 5 SIDs. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one. All right, 330-886-0813. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. Take a time out. Be back with more. It is a Thursday edition of Running Points on ysnlive.com.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
trusted our families to help you with your Medicare needs.
Myers Family Insurance looks forward to helping you now for years to come. So call our family today and remind them how cute we are.
Myers Family Insurance continues to be the area's resource for all your Medicare and retirement needs. Call today, 330-286-3044.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk Futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Rain will come and go tomorrow. There'll be some dry intervals.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy-efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Ron Potesta with you. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline open, 330-886-0813. Let's get Tony on board. Tony, you're on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. What up, brother?
Hey, I didn't hear your show yesterday, and I guess Bristol, the guy from Notre Dame was on. You probably discussed it, but when I was reading, the college football games are starting to drop now with COVID incidences.
Yeah, it's Notre Dame and Wake Forest is down, and they were originally going to make the game up in October, but they decided that they would move the game to December the 12th. So the ACC title game is December the 19th. So Notre Dame and Wake Forest will play each other on December 12th. And the reason why the game was postponed was because 7 kids tested positive at Notre Dame for COVID. Now, the other issue.
I thought I read 17.
Well, it's 7, and what we're adding on to are the kids that were hanging out with the kids that tested positive, and those that were around that person now have to be quarantined for 2 weeks. So Brian made mention yesterday that there is at least 2 positions that are completely wiped out, where you don't have anybody available.
Sure. I mean, these are the guys you hang out with. You're defensive lineman, you hang out with defensive linemen, right?
Exactly. So one could assume that it was a position, and all of the people that hung out with that person playing that position are now quarantined for a couple of weeks, and that's the reason
Too bad it couldn't be the kicker's room, right?
Well, then you can always get someone from the soccer team and say, hey, all you got to do is kick this oblong ball through the sticks, and that's all we need to do. So, but look, that's the part of it that's going to be a problem. College football is so much different.
It's not only Notre Dame, though. I read Baylor, I read Houston, I read North Texas.
Yeah, college football is going to be way, way different than high school football in terms of the success rate, because here, at least in this part of the States, in our nice little comfy area, we really haven't had too much of a difficulty. Now, Champion has a little bit of a problem, so their game against Brookfield is postponed, and they'll make it up after the regular season. They have an arbitrary date, but who knows? Maybe Champion or Brookfield are still alive in the postseason, and then you don't play the game, obviously. But in college, you've got so many more kids, and you've got so many more places, and the kids are going from outside to inside, and there's thousands of kids on campus. It's just so much more difficult to consistently have college football played because there isn't that small area that you have in high school sports.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's interesting. I think we're going to see a lot more of this. I have an opinion, and I'm express it real quick here, but we had the Sun Belt issue in the summer. Now, you lived in the Sun Belt. You understand that the Sun Belt does in the summer what the North does in the winter. We come indoors in the winter to be in heat and circulate air.
Sure.
And live in circulated air.
Sure.
In the Sun Belt, these people live in air conditioning all summer. They're inside in the summer. They're outside in the winter.
Yeah, it's and if they're if they're outside in the summer, it's not for very long. I think everyone who's ever lived south of the Mason-Dixon line, and again, I lived in West Tennessee for 6 years. I lived in South Florida for a little over a year. it's hot as hell in the South. There's no two ways about it. And if you're not anywhere near the ocean or the beach, Gulf of Mexico or the Atlantic Ocean, it's incredibly humid. So a normal day in Jackson, Tennessee would be 95 degrees with about 95% humidity. So you kind of wonder, and you kind of understand why people don't stay out very long. That they're either in working in air conditioning or they're home in air conditioning, because it's blazing hot in the deep South in the summertime. And if you're not near the Gulf of Mexico or near the Atlantic Ocean, and you don't have that ocean breeze, you are really going to be miserable.
Yeah, and I don't want to poo-poo it. I'm not behind the Big Ten doing what they're doing. I was on the side of caution. Personal opinion, solely
Sure.
personal opinion.
Sure.
Only because nobody knows what viruses do, and this is a new virus. People want to make it the common cold, whatever. Go ahead, try. But we don't know what it's going to do, and we know things like shingles come when another virus goes away and revisits you when you're in your 50s. We don't know what this is going to do to these kids who are subjecting themselves to it down the road. So, just personal opinion.
Well, and Tony, here's the thing. I mean, and there's plenty of people in the medical field that have said that they're cautioning long-term health problems for these kids.
Well, they're talking about heart conditions now for young kids.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, but again, we're very. I want to say a lot of us are in the dark and searching for a flashlight or searching for something that is going to shed light on this, because it's like you said, Tony. It's relatively new, and the thing that bothered me the most about all of this is there were some people that are really put off by the fact, well, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, how about cutting some people some slack? Because note to self, this is the first time that we have ever had this virus. We don't even have a vaccine for this virus. So I would just basically say not anyone. There is not one person in this country, let alone the entire world, that's going to be 100% accurate on everything that has to do with COVID.
Agreed. And don't you somewhat err on the side of caution?
Oh, my God, absolutely.
I think so. You and I are in the same blessed position. We both have our parents in their 80s. So we may have a different perspective on this than some people who they're 55 and they're the oldest person in their family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, and I'll harken back to what happened to me a couple of months ago when I came in here and was not feeling all that good, and DJ kicked me out of the building and said, "I'll see you in 2 weeks. Go get a COVID test." And I'll be honest. I mean, I live with my folks, and I told the doctor, I said, "Look, I got an 87-year-old father, I got an soon to be 82-year-old mom, and I do not want them getting this."
Your parents are the exact same age as my parents.
Oh my God, that's awesome. And it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal that your folks are still.
God bless them all four.
Absolutely, absolutely. So,
I guess we're the ones that bless, because what's funny, and I'm way off topic here, off sports right now, but you know what? And I feel so horrible for people who don't have their parents. But to be able to go to your parent and still have an adult in the room, we pretend we're adults, all of us, but still have somebody with that kind of wisdom that we can turn to.
Well, sometimes when I turn to my dad, it's not like I'm talking to an adult, but that's neither here nor there.
So, hey, one more comment on the college sports and COVID. I'm very, very disappointed, and it's just disappointed, I guess. I'm not passing judgment on anybody, but we're allowing some of these kids to have a sixth year in college, using up scholarships. Remember, kids came out, the 2020 graduates from high school didn't have their sports their senior year of high school, and a lot of them are not going to get scholarships their freshman year of college because they're still being held by other students who are allowed additional year. That's a bad situation.
Well, I mean, look, I understand where you're coming from, but I also understand it's a little bit different in college because of You can always redshirt if you didn't get enough playing time, and
you can redshirt or gray shirt.
Yeah, and a medical emergency redshirt, what Mary Dunn got, so she could have her senior year over again. I mean, this is a weird situation, and again, unfortunately, nobody redshirts in high school. You have 4 years in high school. That's it. And that's one of the reasons why I look at high school completely different. Their athletics completely different from college. High school, you're not paid, and I'm going to use that term. I don't want to say it monetarily, but you are being paid.
The reduced opportunity going forward.
No, I get that. I get that, and I think that most of those kids that we're talking about are either going to be redshirted, where they have 4 years of eligibility starting next year, or they'll get the playing time, and they won't get as much playing time, but they will certainly get playing time, and then we'll go from there. But it just, I understand where you're coming from, but I also understand that for kids that
but if the scholarships, they can't redshirt if the scholarships weren't there to give them originally. They could do what's called gray shirt, which means they would sit out their first. Like if they're a football player, they could sit out the fall, and that actually gives them a 6th year of eligibility for football.
Yeah.
But still, for a lot of these kids to participate in college, they were leaning on the scholarship. But that's here nor there. It's just I'm always thinking of the kids.
Absolutely. And look, I mean, from the perspective of the seniors, they got hosed from their spring sports. I'm good with those kids getting one more year. If you want to. Now, I mean, let's be honest. If you graduate and you know that you aren't going to be going to the next level, and a company and that suits your major wants to offer you X amount of dollars to go into the workforce, you got a good decision on your hands, because I mean, you can't lose either way.
How about this? NCAA expand scholarships for this 1 year exemption.
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
By 25% for 1 year.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think that's okay. I think that's a very fair thing for the NCAA to do under the circumstances. I definitely think that would be a fair thing to do.
Hey, we're running out of time, cut me off. Did you know the Indians have a better record away than they do at home?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting to know this, because we're most probably going to be on the road the whole time. And it makes sense. When you take out the home crowd, that's a large part of home field advantage. And then you also take out the distraction. Let's be honest. These guys go home to spouses. These guys go home to crying kids in diapers needing changed. When they go on the road, they're catered to. They get to hang out with their buddies and build this fellowship amongst their buddies and hang out and build team camaraderie. It's an opportunity for us this year. I'm behind you that they have a good shot at running the table. Take it in.
Tony, one of the big things that I miss the most about minor league baseball has nothing to do with baseball. When I was on road trips with guys, I don't want to sit back and say we were partiers all the time, but I absolutely loved going out with the guys and just whether it was the hotel bar or picking out a very nice place near the hotel where we can all walk to this place and just hang out and have some fun and just let off some steam if the team lost, or just have all kinds of fun, shoot pool, throw darts, drink beer, and just have a great time talking baseball. That's one of the coolest things in the world.
You heard it from that guy, and that's great. You heard it from that guy you had in a couple of weeks ago, and he didn't talk about baseball. He talked about when they went downtown Washington, D.C., and after the game to have a few drinks, or in Georgetown or wherever they went, and their buddy was down there getting in trouble and stuff. It's funny. The memories are a lot bigger than how many home runs you hit.
Oh, no, there's no question. And I if I ever were to write a book about life in the minor league baseball, one of the chapters that I would have is Past List Grows Day by Day. I love the idea. We had 5-game series in the Southern League, and scouts used to sit back and just absolutely love the Southern League, because We'd have a 5-game series. That means that every scout that comes in would see every single starting pitcher on each team. And you would basically see the entire roster at some point during the 5-game series unless somebody was injured. And when we were on the road, it was either 5 or 10 days at a time. So we get into town. We'll take Jacksonville for lack of a better team. So we get into Jacksonville, and normally because we're traveling from Jackson, Tennessee to Jacksonville, Florida, it's 12 hours on a bus. Because there's no straight line A to B, so we got to take a lot of back roads, which just the worst trip of the entire genre in the Southern League. So we'd always have a day off. So we get into Jacksonville. First game, the pass list is a little small. But then the kids start going out after the first night. You know, we get back to the hotel, people start going out and having fun. And we used to stay in a hotel. It was the best hotel in the Southern League. And Jacksonville has a really nice area called The Landing. The Landing has a bunch of bars, nightclubs, and whatnot, and The Landing is literally within walking distance of the Hyatt Regency in downtown Jacksonville. So we would all walk over to The Landing. The next night, the pass list doubled. The next night after, it doubled again. And finally, on the last night, everyone's taking full advantage of the free tickets, and I see all of these knockout women that are on this pass list, and I'm looking going, oh, my God.
Hey, did you run into Susan Sheridan when you were down there?
No. But I did run into a lot of people like her. Let's just say that we had one of those type of people in Jackson, Tennessee. And for those that have watched Bull Durham and wondered about the validity, let me just say that Bull Durham is 90+% accurate.
Great. Hey, and again, cut me off if you think somebody's waiting to get on. But hey, if I asked you the other day, would you be happy if the Bills went 2-2 the next 4 games? And you said you expected them to win all. I did the math on that. That would pay about $1,800 on a $100 bet, and I think you ought to make it.
No, well, listen here. Let me just say right now. And I've had so much fun doing this. I go on my Facebook account, and I decided this year that I would go top to bottom every single NFL game, and I would do it against the spread. I've been doing this since Joe and Uncle Jimmy were on my previous show over at iHeart when I had them in. So they got me involved in doing this stuff. So I was watching a program, I want to say a couple of days ago, and somebody said something that really got me thinking Sunday's game isn't going to be very close. The Los Angeles Rams last week were in Philadelphia taking on the Eagles. And the Rams made the mistake of going back to the West Coast. They left Philadelphia, and instead of staying east, they went back to the West Coast. Now, think about this, Tony. You went from Los Angeles to Philadelphia, back to Los Angeles, and now you're going to make a return trip into the Eastern time zone. Historically, teams that do not stay east on the back end of that 2-week jaunt get their ass kicked in the second week.
How early are they getting in? There used to be a requirement that you be in by a certain time into a host city. And have they shortened that up?
I think
to limit stays?
Normally they get in at some point on Saturday. It's like Friday night, Saturday, and then
I thought it was Friday night. They had to be in a couple days early.
Well, if I were
shorten that up, if they shortened it up, it makes it worse for the Rams.
Yeah, if I were the Rams, I would definitely want to at least get my legs straight in terms of, all right, are we in the Eastern time zone or are we back in the Pacific time zone? And again, by not staying in the Eastern time zone and finding a place, renting a place out to work out that particular week, I think that's going to bite the Rams in a big, big way. I love Buffalo. Big. I mean big.
Well, depends
on Sunday.
Depends on the injuries. And I think McDermott's plays games with his injury report, by the way.
But he's got a little Belichick in him. There's no two ways
He's
about
got a little
that.
gamemanship, and I think on his 53-man roster, I think 47 are on the injury report or something like that.
Yeah,
But
he plays a little games, but look, I honestly think that Milano and Edmonds are both going to be playing on Sunday.
well, they both practiced yesterday.
Yeah, and if they do, I think the Bills win this game easily.
Now, fourth week they get two important pieces back. They get and I don't know if they'll be able to play fourth week, but they get them back available fourth week. Feliciano,
yeah,
who's a stud at guard, and they've really missed him, and Josh Norman, because I'm not a Levi Johnson guy, and he really got picked on last week. Part of that was because they had Klein playing linebacker, and when they get their two starters back at linebacker, they won't be hurting as much in covering the tight ends and in that flat area.
Yeah, and like I've said before, when you get Milano and Edmonds off this team, Milano and Edmonds make the front seven, the star-studded front seven that it is. Take both of them out, and this defense suffers dramatically, and they did against Dolphins. And Miami is a pretty decent offensive team when Fitzpatrick has it going. So again, if Milano and Edmonds play, I think Buffalo wins by double digits on Sunday. And I think one of the reasons why, again, I think the Rams made a serious mistake by not staying on the East Coast for to work out for the week and get everyone completely acclimated into the Eastern time zone. And I think the Rams are going to learn that lesson. And truth be told, I think they're going to learn that lesson. And when they face that scenario again, they're going to handle it a lot differently.
Let me throw out one thing, and we don't need to discuss it in detail, but I'm going to add somebody. I know he was on your wish list, and sometimes when you wait for something, you'll feel a lot more rewarded. How would you like Billy Price on the Bills?
Yeah. Absolutely, and you can move him. You can have him at guard.
I was just looking at it, and now I think he played last week because the starter was, and he's not starting there now.
No,
in Cincinnati. And sometimes a change of venue is all these professionals need.
Yeah,
and I don't know what's happening down there, and the other guys due back this week, I think. So I don't know what that does to him, but the Bills' offensive line is getting better. But it's still not a premier offensive line. And D Ford is as much questionable for us as Billy Price has been for the Bengals. So,
well, the difference, unfortunately, Tony, the difference between the two is D Ford hasn't spent a lot of time in the training room. He hasn't been as banged up as Billy has, and I think that's one of the reasons why Billy has been struggling is because he's been hurt an awful lot.
They had a high ankle sprain the first year, I think, and then he came in off that pec tear, and then he had the high ankle sprain, and then but sometimes a change of venue. And Austin Corbett is actually starting for the Rams at right guard.
Yes, he is, and doing quite well for himself. Thank you very much.
Is he doing quite well, or is he?
He's doing okay. He's
a starting professional football player. So how bad can he be? But
yeah, I always get a kick out of people that are like, "Wow, this guy really stinks." Really? He's on the grandest stage. Do you know how difficult it is to get to the grandest stage? I got news for you. The 53rd person on the NFL roster is better than anything that you have outside of the NFL. There's a reason why he's in the NFL, even though he's the 53rd guy.
The thing I really enjoy is the kids who are marginal in college and go to the pros and either mature or find a different game that better suits them. So a lot of the marginal guys exceed expectations, and the superstars that were in premium situations fail. It's an interesting thing.
And I hearken back to Notre Dame because that's my college football team. But I'll be honest with you, the Steelers got an absolute stud at wide receiver in Claypool, and the reason why I think Claypool is going to be an absolute superstar. And again, no disrespect to Ian Book. Ben Roethlisberger is a million times better than Ian Book will ever dream of being. And you put Chase Claypool in a.
But he's no Josh Allen, is he?
Well, yeah, come on. You put Chase Claypool in an opportunity with a future Hall of Famer, and you are going to see Mr. Claypool put together a really good season. And I all Notre Dame receivers, those are the guys that I know if they have any kind of talent, they're going to exceed expectations from the college to the pros, because unfortunately they really weren't given a great opportunity to show what they have, because unfortunately Notre Dame doesn't have a great quarterback. And it's no knock on Ian Book, it's just reality.
Yeah, and you see that in tight ends a lot. Go ahead and get yourself an athletic tight end, because some colleges don't utilize tight ends. And hell, some kids didn't even play tight end in college. They played basketball at Kent State. And
there you go.
Pretty good.
There you go.
Get yourself an athlete. So
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I can talk Bills all day, but I'm going to let you go, buddy.
I appreciate it, man. 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. Coming up in a moment, we're going to hear from the head football coach of the Struthers Wildcats, John Bayek. Wildcats have a game in South Range. Now, technically, it's there's three different directions that you can go with where South Range High School is located. Now, actually four. It's located on State Route 46, about 3, maybe 3.5 miles south of the fairgrounds. It's on the other side of Western Reserve Road, which, for those wondering, those that go to South Range, you would be up to Western Reserve Road. That's the end border. On the other side of Western Reserve Road, that's where the Canfield School District begins, on 46. You can say that South Range is in Beaver Township. You can say that South Range would be somewhat considered North Lima, although that's kind of a stretch. I think that you can probably make a better argument that it's Greenford, although Greenford is a little bit east of where the high school and the K through 12 building is. Nonetheless, gorgeous, and I do mean a gorgeous facility. And the Wildcats invade South Range to take on the South Range Raiders. And we're going to catch up with the head football coach of the 2-2 Struthers Wildcats, John Bayek. That's coming up in a bit. You're listening to a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions, reminding you that it is open enrollment for Medicare.
Now through December 7th, those who qualify can visit our local independent agency by calling us at 330-953-3722 or visiting us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Attention all football fans. If you can't see your team play, come and dine with us and watch it live at Boardman, Canfield, or Cortland. Or staying at home, we'll deliver right to your door. That's Coca's Pizza. We serve it hot.
2020 will be a season like we've never seen before. But 21 Sports and YSN will be there for every key moment. The plays, the players, and the stories that will headline this season. Delivered by 21 Sports and YSN.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is here, so it's all hands on deck to make sure your plans still meet your needs for 2020.
Call us today.
You may find yourself in some difficulty this winter. Don't get whacked by high heating bills. Call Michael at MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Michael is a trusted friend who will be able to help you with many things, like getting a 95% high-efficiency furnace this winter from Rude. Michael relies on Rude, so should you. Call MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning for a free estimate, 330-259-0486, and take care of your heating and air situation.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
Armstrong Local Programming has always delivered an exclusive and unique perspective on the very best events your region offers. High school sports, community events, parades, all your favorite shows from Armstrong are now calling the Neighborhood Channel their home.
Watch Out and About, Locally Speaking, and many other great local shows right here on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Find out everything that the Neighborhood Channel has to offer at ArmstrongNeighborhood.com. Spirit, town pride, local communities. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Northeast 8 Conference is getting hot and heavy, and, the Struthers Wildcats looking to jump back into the NEH race. They have a date with the South Range Raiders on Friday night over in South Range. And to talk about that game and talk about the season to this point, we bring in the head football coach of the Struthers Wildcats, John Bayek. Coach Bayek, how are you today, sir?
Hey, I'm doing all right, Ron. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. So, rookie year, you come into Struthers after the previous coach Kurt Kuntz took a position with the Miami Dolphins. You come into a really nice situation. Talk a little bit about how you were able to bring the kids together and basically get them used to what you were wanting them to do with your offensive and defensive schemes this year.
Yeah, when I took over in January, we were having great success in the weight room, getting kids here, and the numbers were great, real high, and we actually kept those numbers here within the season. But then this COVID stuff hit, and we kind of hit a standstill. So we were kind of racing to get our new offense and defensive schemes in once we were allowed to start practicing in June. So, we kind of had to step on the gas pedal when everything started to get the kids ready in time for the season. But, Kurt left me a great foundation with the program. And, I'm just building off what he kind of set up for me and trying to, do my own things and create a name for myself here at Struthers. But, our kids have done a great job. They've been facing a lot of adversity in different situations this season so far, and we're just kind of rolling with the punches that we've been given here the last few weeks.
Well, look, the Northeast 8, I think everyone can basically say without any hesitation, this is a meat grinder of a conference. I mean, you've got really, really good football programs up and down. Jefferson is the outlier, and obviously Lakeview is having their struggles this year. But by and large, in a normal year, you're looking wall-to-wall talent all over the place, and it's a tough grind. But the good news is, it's one of those tough grinds that gets you mentally prepared when the real stuff starts to happen a couple of weeks from now.
Absolutely, and you know what? It's funny. I had a freshman come up to me a few weeks ago, and actually it was Saturday morning after our Niles game this past week, and he came up to me. He goes, "Coach, we're 2 touchdowns away from being 4-0." And for a freshman, for a 14-year-old to say that, that's kind of what we're looking at as a team. We lost to Hubbard by a touchdown and a hurricane, and we were out 3 of our starting. We had our starting tailback out against Niles, our quarterback, and Zach Folletti, who's one of the best linemen in the area. And for our young kids to step up and almost pull off that Niles game, the future is bright here for Struthers, and I'm very proud of the way our kids have played the last 4 games. Although we are 2-2, those 2 losses, we held in there, and our kids didn't give up till the very end is when it was decided. So, we're gaining progress every week, and that's what I tell the kids. As long as we're getting better every week, that's the goal.
Well, and that's a scary proposition for everyone that's in D4 Region 13. And look, I mean, next week you're going to find out where you're seated, and you'll find out by before week 6 who Struthers' first round opponent is going to be. But like I said, Coach, you've got some business to do with South Range this week and Poland next week. Nothing like taking on 2 of the elite programs, and you've already taken on Hubbard. So you're going through the big part of the gauntlet the last 2 weeks, and then you get started for the postseason. You mentioned Aiden Hall was out for the game against Niles. What's his availability tomorrow night against South Range?
He's been day-to-day here. He's been working with our trainer and going to physical therapy. So we're going to see how he feels tomorrow morning and go from there. He is making progress, though. He is getting better. I just don't know if he's 100% yet to go full board. But we'll see how he feels tomorrow morning and go from there. Hopefully he's getting dressed and getting on the bus with us.
The head football coach of the Struthers Wildcats, John Bayek, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. John, there's no 2 ways about this. The Bayek name is golden in the Mahoning Valley. Your father led the Warren JFK to a state championship 4 years ago, and I got to imagine that you're blessed beyond expectation to have your dad on the coaching staff. Tell everyone a little bit about the father-son relationship on a Friday night. Is it one of those relationships where you're like, Dad, this is my team. Now you can ground me after the game is over and have a father-son conversation, but I'm the boss here, and don't you dare forget that.
When I first asked him to come over to Struthers, he did, as a joke, he said, it's going to be hard not to be in charge when you're in charge for so long, and he said, step over that line and don't be afraid to tell me, hey, this is my program and you do what you want to do. Don't ever feel obligated just because I'm there. And that's kind of how it is. And as funny as it is, on Friday night, we don't really talk that much. We're not on the headsets together. He's up in the press box. There are times where, there are situations, 4th and short. Do we want to punt? Do we want to go for 2? Do we want to kick a field goal? I lean on him a lot to help me with those decisions. That's just, experience, and he has more experience than most of the coaches in the state. So those are the kind of things I kind of lean on him for on a Friday night. Other than that, we don't We don't really talk during the game. During the week, we'll have our one-on-ones about what we like and what we see in the other team. But it's, we coached together when he was the head coach at Campbell and I was an assistant, and it's really just the same situation, just flipped. We support each other, and there really isn't a divide. He really doesn't. If you were here, you wouldn't think we were father-son. He's just another guy on our coaching staff.
Well, John, I'll tell you, the future is very, very bright. We made mention of this. You have a number of seniors on this team, but a roster of about 50-plus players, and most of them are underclassmen. Is it safe to say that you guys are 1 year away from really announcing to everyone just how great a program this is going to be?
You know what, Ron? I'm really excited about the future, and like I stated before, one of the main reasons is they got thrown into the fire this year. A lot of them that I wasn't expecting to get thrown into the fire, and they showed up against the two games we lost, two really good football teams that they brought down to the wire. And for them to show that to me makes me even more excited. And against Niles, we had 4 seniors on the field out of our 22 starters on offense and defense. And most of them are sophomores, and we got 1 freshman out there. So I am very excited for next year. Obviously, our eyes are on the prize this year still because we got a lot of football left and hopefully beyond week 7. But, these kids, like I told you, have gone through so much. There's a list I can tell you of what they've gone through this season, but they show up every day ready to work. And I'm very excited for the next few years.
Coach, I'll tell you. I'm sorry about that, Coach. I'll tell you. I'm looking forward to seeing the progress that you guys are going to continue to make. And when you look at this team and you hit the nail on the head, your 2 losses, you haven't been blown out of any game, and that's saying something because again, Hubbard is undefeated. You played them in a driving rainstorm. That was pretty damn close to hurricane conditions, and you were without your senior quarterback Aiden Hall for the game against Niles, and you guys were still in it till the last few moments of the game. You're going to be playing 2 really, really good teams. Not that there aren't really good teams in the Northeast 8. We've already said this conference top to bottom is spectacular. You're taking on an undefeated Struthers team, and then next week a 3-1 Poland team pending the outcome of their game against Hubbard. It's just going to get you prepared for the postseason, and I'll just state this now because I know you guys are going to do what you want to do. There is no way in hell I would want to play the Struthers Wildcats in the first round of the postseason because I think that you guys are going to be lying in the weeds. Whoever plays you is going to get an ass whipping. I will just flat out say that right now. You guys are laying in the weeds because this ain't a 2-2 club, Coach. You guys are good enough right now where you could have been a 3-1 or a 4-0 team had you played in a lesser conference.
Yeah, and you know what? That's kind of what we're trying to portray to the kids. Don't listen to the outside noise of we're 2-2. If people start saying stuff, just ignore it and keep coming to work every day because we're getting better. And like you said, and honestly, I have so much respect for Coach Yeagley down at South Range. I'm trying to do here at Struthers what he did with his program, and that's going to be a great football team when we go down there. And it's just more experience for our young guys. So, these bigger games that these young guys playing, the more experience, the better. So, we're just keeping our heads up and coming to work every day. And like I said, trying to get better week by week. So then when we get to the playoffs, like you said, hopefully we can make some noise.
Hey, keep feeding those kids the Elmton pizza down there.
Yeah, we will.
Oh, man, I'm telling you. I'll tell you what, that's everyone likes talking about really good pizza, and I honestly believe we're the pizza capital of the United States. Elmton is so underrated, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you can definitely throw them up there.
Oh, there's no question about that. So keep the big boys up front happy. Give them about 5 or 6 Elmton pizzas, and Hey, good luck to you on Friday night against South Range. It's going to be one of those interesting games, and you have an opportunity to play spoiler and oh, by the way, get back into the race because, if Poland knocks off Hubbard, now you're one game out, and you take on Poland. So you may be able to get back into this race with a victory over South Range on Friday night.
Yep, we are. We're hoping to stay healthy and get better. That's our goal this week.
Coach, best of luck to you in Friday night's game and the rest of the season.
Thanks, Ron. I really appreciate it.
You got it. John Bayek, he is the head coach of the Struthers Wildcats. There is no way I want to play the Struthers Wildcats in round 1 of the OHSAA playoffs. That is a team that is just lying in the weeds. Yep, they're the cougar or the wildcat that's just lying in the weeds, waiting for a zebra or one of those animals to start trotting along down the road, and the wildcat strikes, and you know what's going to happen then. All right, 330-886-0813. That is the number to call. That's again, Wildcats in their 2 losses, they haven't been blown out in either game. And again, with no Aiden Hall against Niles, and they were still able to put up 28 points. Yeah, it's a good football team. Pay no attention to the 2-2 record. This is a good football team. They obviously 2 extremely difficult games to close out the season. But as Coach Bayek said, if this team can stay healthy the rest of the regular season, forget about whether or not they get a good seed or not. Look, all of that stuff, all irrelevant. I really believe Struthers is one of those teams that is a good candidate to pull off an upset in week number 1 of the OHSAA playoffs. I'm just saying. All right, we're going to take a timeout. Another game that is going to be really fascinating out of the Eastern Ohio Athletic Conference. United is going to take a trip to the turf in Salineville as they take on the Southern Local Indians. We're going to catch up with the head football coach of the United Eagles, DJ Ogilvy. He's coming up in a bit. Stick around, more to come. It's a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com.
21 News.
Let's get right to our top story tonight.
More experienced reporters.
A new Wilmington restaurant.
GM Lordstown.
Telling more local stories.
We'll look at efforts
boy is recovering from a broken
around our valley.
Community in Niles. We are here in Youngstown, right up.
Because you expect.
It's important for everyone. No place like home.
More local news.
In Mercer County Court.
21 News is our valley's #1 local news.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
Attention football fans, order Coca's Pizza tailgate package for only $54.99. You'll receive 24 slices of our delicious cheese pizza, 20 jumbo wings, and 2 of our famous foot-long pepperoni rolls. Coca's Pizza, we serve it hot.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Your Armstrong services are more important than ever. There are more and more connected devices in the home these days. To get the most out of your experience, you need a network that is always getting better. You deserve superior performance, and that's what Armstrong offers every day. Whether you're working from home, enjoying your favorite content together, or simply catching up while apart, count on Armstrong to keep you connected to what matters most.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in the Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
Thanks to all of you who have trusted our families to help you with your Medicare needs.
Myers Family Insurance looks forward to helping you now.
For years to come,
so call our family today and remind them how cute we are.
Myers Family Insurance continues to be the area's resource for all your Medicare and retirement needs. Call today, 330-286-3044.
It's a Thursday edition of Running Points on ysnlive.com. Ron Potesta with you. MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. It's not open because we are bringing in the head football coach of the United Local Golden Eagles, DJ Ogilvy, joining me. DJ, how are you today, my friend?
I'm doing excellent. How are you?
I'm doing good. Ninth year at United, 48 wins, 32 losses. You're entrenched down in Hanoverton, having a good old time, and man, you guys are having a great year to knock on wood. 4 wins, no losses. You have taken care of every team in front of you. Got a really, really exciting game coming up on Friday night against Southern. Before the season started, did you anticipate your club being as successful as it has to this point?
To be honest with you, yes. I knew we had some good football players. 2 of our best players missed all of last year with injuries, so I know they were going to be, kind of slept on as far as, people not knowing about them. And I knew they were excellent football players. And I thought we had potential of being a very good offensive and defensive line. So, no, I'm not shocked at all.
Well, you have a pretty nice quarterback, and Brutus Ogilvy, he broke his foot on the 8th play of the 2019 season. He's back, and man, you talk about throwing the ball in the air and having an aerial circus. You guys got a 3-ringer going on over at United. Your son can flat out sling the ball anytime, anywhere.
Well, I appreciate it. But the best thing about him is that he's a student of the game. On Friday nights, he's able to, talk football and come off the field and not like, hey, let's throw it this. He understands the game. He watches film. Obviously he's grown up around football. So the best thing about him is he's able to come off the sideline and help out and say, hey, Dad, I think we can go trips over here and run this play because of a certain formation when we're in this, certain coverage when we're in a certain formation. So it's good to have somebody on the field that's an extra coach and can see it from the field.
You take a look, and obviously with COVID, you're strictly in the Eastern Ohio Athletic Conference, and the conference, by and large, it's been 3 teams that have done quite well. Columbiana at 2-2, and then you have a few teams that have won 1 game, but. By and large, it's a tough, top-heavy type of conference, and you get to take on 2 of the heavyweights this week and next week. You take on Southern this week. Leetonia looms in week number 6. Is this basically how you thought it was going to play out?
Yeah, I mean, I knew Columbiana would be a really formidable opponent at the beginning. But I still think, Wellsville is very well coached with athletes. Coach Aldermore's just getting started, so I knew it may be a year or 2 away from there. And Valley Christian, being new to the league, I knew nothing about them other than I knew that they would have some really good athletes. So no breathers, shall we say, but obviously the way the season is being played out, the 2 juggernauts are the teams we have the next 2 weeks. So we'll really find out what kind of team we have.
You take on Southern, and I suppose one of the potential difficulties about Southern is the fact that they play on turf. You guys, and correct me if I'm wrong, you don't have turf quite yet down in United. How do you practice for a game on the turf when there's no turf? Is it easier for you as a coach and for players to adjust from grass to turf? Or if you have a turf surface and you have to play a game on grass, which one do you think is easier?
I think it's much easier to go from a grass team to a turf team. I don't think it affects teams nearly as much as a turf team going on the grass. So, we don't talk about that. I don't want to get in anybody's heads with that. They've played on turf before growing up, and so I hope. I don't think that should play a part in the game tomorrow.
Well, if anything, it makes your team quicker, and you guys are already quick, so that'll make things a little bit easier for sure. Hey, talk a little bit about your opponent. Obviously, Southern they had a hiccup in week 1 against Leetonia. Since then, they've been doing what we expected. Rich Wright does an outstanding job down at Southern Local. Looking at that team on film, what is the one or a couple things that opened your eyes about this team?
Yeah, a couple things. One is they're huge up front, and that's usually the way Southern is every year. The Sloan kid is probably the best athlete in the league, and I also think their backs, the Morris kid and their quarterback, they run exceptionally hard. They're good athletes, but along with being a good athlete, they run with, they run angry. They run hard. And then, the quarterback, he's able to throw the ball very efficiently. Obviously, they're a run-first team, but having to stop Sloan in the passing game is a tall task. So they're very skilled. Their skill runs really hard, and they're very, very big up front.
DJ, talk a little bit about the mentality of the kids in Columbiana County. And I say this because you and I have something in common. We both were products of the Boardman School District for a while. I made the move from Boardman to Leetonia relatively early. It was in 3rd grade, but even then, you knew that there was a culture shock. You knew you were going from a suburb to a school in the country, and there's a different attitude with kids in the country. I joke when I say cornbread country strong, but there's some truth in that. I know when we played United in high school, my God, those kids were strong. They were just big old country boys coming off the farm, and they would throw people around on the high school field. Talk a little bit about that kind of aspect that you bring to the table with a United team.
Well, I get asked this question a lot: is why would you move back from Florida to United? And which is a valid question. Living 5 minutes from the beach is pretty nice down there, but knowing what United stood for, what the people in the community stood for, coaching these kids is a pleasure every day. come to practice every day with their lunch pail ready to go, working hard. There's no utopia, perfect place, but overall, it's a great place to raise my boys, and I love the people and the culture here. So for me, you hit it right on the head there. There's a lot of great qualities and great people to be around at this school district. It's
a slower pace of life, as I like to say. You get away from the suburbs, you get into the country. It's a slower pace of life, and you have kids that. And I'm not going to disregard anyone from the suburbs because that wouldn't be the case. But you get kids that have a different mindset, and if you get them focused on the game, boy, you're going to have kids that are going to be running through a brick wall for you. That's the mentality that the country kids have that I absolutely love about Columbiana County.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, there's a lot of great quality people here, and the kids are for the most part great workers, and I think that obviously starts a lot at home.
Talk a little bit about your coaching staff. You got a bunch of former United guys and guys associated with United. Talk about that coaching staff and what they bring to the table for you, DJ.
Well, our defensive coordinator, Jordan Phillips, who's doing a tremendous job. He's, he played for me at United back in the old days here, and so it's great to have him on staff because he's a United person and knows what United stands for. So kids can see that and look as a role model of somebody that's from here. Obviously, we have the blessing of having Mike Ward, who's a legend down here at United in Columbiana County, coaching with us, and he's great to be around with every day. So, and then we got Travis Ellison, our line coach, who's also a United grad, played line here, played in college. He does a great job, and then we got two young guys that are really, really special. Matt Brooks, who was an outstanding lineman at South Range, so he knows what it takes. And then two other former players. We got Ethan Antrim, who was a first-team All-Stater for me 2 years ago, helping out with our young guys. And then we have another former player of mine, Sean White, who played linebacker for me way back in the old days. So, look at all the United connections there and what people stand for around here. And then you throw in, like I said, Coach Brooks, who came from a coaching family. His dad and I are good buddies, so he knows what it's about. So I'm very blessed with a great staff and a lot of United ties here.
It's such a shame that we're living in a COVID world where you only have 15% capacity. And I say that because one of the other things that makes United so special, the people in Hanoverton and in that area, they absolutely love anything Golden Eagles. And when you have a winning product, a who's who of Hanoverton residents will show up and cheer you guys on. Has it been difficult to play in front of a very sparse crowd in a normal rocking facility in Hanoverton, Coach?
Well, here's the thing about that is that we, especially when people like watching teams that win and teams that throw the ball. So, I'm speaking as an athletic director also. Boy, we're missing out of some great gates. But I'll say this: our kids are just ecstatic that we're playing, because since March, everything was, hey, you'll never get to play football, and that we're able to do this is I think they're just thankful that they're playing regardless of who's in the stands watching. But, hopefully maybe the playoffs will open it up, let more people in, and, we'll see, but we're just glad to be playing football.
Listen, I know what you're going to say, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. Obviously, you got a lot on your plate with Southern this week, Leetonia next week. You have the playoffs. Seeding is going to be coming up next week. Do you anticipate a high enough seed where you guys have a bye week in Week 7?
Well, it depends on if any more teams opt out. I think today was the last day you could opt out. So we'll see. As of right now, it would be the top 6 teams. And if you just go by point-wise, right now we're 6. But, I'm not. To be honest with you, 100%. I'm not even worried or thinking about Week 6. I'm just worrying about, beating Southern, and hopefully we can hang with Leetonia to get a good seed. But I'll be honest with you, I have not even cared or thought about that far ahead.
Hey, don't be doing this Lou Holtz stuff on me with we hope to be hanging in with Leetonia. I'm a Leetonia grad.
Yes, I know, but we watched a game of theirs earlier from a film exchange of another team, and man, are they huge! And Ferry's obviously the real deal.
Well, I think he's the best running back in the entire area, and one would argue one of the best quarterbacks in this area. And it's a completely different contrast of styles when you guys meet. But that's next week. You guys have Southern this week, and I know that Rich Wright and the boys have been bringing it since their week 1 loss to Leetonia. This is going to be a fun game, and I expect all kinds of fireworks in Salineville on Friday night.
Well, I hope so. I mean, they're all about ball control. They went on a 20-play drive against Columbiana, shoot up almost the whole quarter. So we hope we can stop them so we can get a chance to get the ball.
That up front, is that going to be the telltale sign of your success on Friday night, Coach?
Well, I think it's that way a lot of times. Most nights, if we can give our quarterback time and let our receivers get open. Brutus is a very accurate quarterback, and obviously Keaton Baker, our receiving core is led by him, and he's a great receiver. So if we're giving those two guys time to work, then I like our chances.
Well, you got Baker, and he's an unbelievable talent. You also have Nate Miller at 6'6". I got to imagine he's a nightmare in terms of a matchup problem. If you go into the red zone and just do a jump ball, it's a nightmare for anyone trying to guard him.
Yeah, he's obviously a good athlete. He was an all-league football player last year, so we're lucky to have him, and we've got three sophomores that are really stepping up, also helping us out with the receiving core. So, going into the season, I knew we'd have some really good receivers to work with, and I thought Brutus could be a decent quarterback, and that's proven to be true so far.
Your sophomore class, you got a lot of skill position in your sophomore class.
Yes, we do. Like I said, a lot of those kids are stepping up and helping us out right now, and the one that stands out was Grant Knight, who helped us out a lot last year as a freshman. So, but there's many more. Those kids are. It's a really good class, a real fun group to work with.
Hey DJ, listen, I'm with you. I stepped off the beach in South Florida to move to West Tennessee. So the beach is wonderful. Don't get me wrong, but if you're stepping off the beach for an even better reason. Then it makes it all that much better. And I know that you missed coaching in Northeastern Ohio, specifically United. It's good to have you back in Columbiana County. Good to have you back in the Eastern Ohio Athletic Conference. And 9 years overdue for me to say that, by the way.
Well, I appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, Coach. Best of luck to you in Southern, and hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully you're 5-0 and Leetonia's 5-0, and we have a good old time down in Ann Overton next week.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a very fun game.
Absolutely. DJ, all the best to you, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
You got it. DJ Ogilvy, he is the head football coach of United, and the opportunity's there for United and Leetonia to be 5-0 going into a Week 6 matchup down in Hanoverton. Boy, that would be fun. But United's got to beat Southern. Leetonia's got to beat Palestine. All right, take a time out. Coach Williams from Poland around the bend. Stick around.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in the Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
trusted our families to help you with your Medicare needs.
Myers Family Insurance looks forward to helping you now for years to come. So call our family today and remind them how cute we are.
Myers Family Insurance continues to be the area's resource for all your Medicare and retirement needs. Call today, 330-286-3044.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk Futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Rain will come and go tomorrow. There'll be some dry intervals.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Points on ysnlive.com. And joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, the head football coach at Poland High School, Ryan Williams. Coach Williams, how are you today, my friend?
Good, Ron. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. You're entering your fifth year. Last year, Poland in the state semifinals. The ceiling is quite high for this football program, and after a tough loss to South Range, you guys have been back in the win trail and well, doing quite well for yourselves as you get prepared to take on a 4-0 Hubbard Eagles team. Talk about the success that you guys have had to this point this year, Coach.
We're started out a little behind. We had a situation here this summer with some of the coronavirus and had a couple weeks shut down right in the heart of double sessions. Actually missed 14 days of 2-a-days. So that kind of set us back. I mean, it kept been able to keep us focused, and we got to improve. And there's a lot of things that we got to get better at. And we've been kind of week by week making some strides and finding some new mistakes to make, that's for sure.
Well, the hallmark of your team beginning last year and bleeding into this year is that enormous, and I do mean enormous, offensive line. Carter Kellgren, 6'5", 315 pounds. He's committed to YSU. You got a junior in Ethan Frank. He's 6'4", 285. What in God's name are you feeding these kids down there?
Yeah, they're a nice group of kids that have come through. I mean, we don't have a lot of linemen, but the ones we have are pretty good size, and offensive line play takes a little bit of time. We had to replace a couple guards, a couple tight ends, and so some of that it's finding the right combination, finding it takes time to develop that. That those early couple weeks of missed practice, kind of set us back a little bit. So we're working. Certainly, the frames are great, the bodies are great that are there, and we're fine tuning what we're doing and trying to refine a little bit and get those guys, working as one unit, and we'll see what kind of potential that creates for us.
Well, speaking of potential, their job is to make sure the jersey of one Jack Fulton is clean, and he is a junior this year. He started as a sophomore last year. Here he is, second year as the starting quarterback. Talk a little bit about what Jack has done growth-wise, maybe not physically, but growth-wise in terms of the quarterback position from last year to this year.
Well, he certainly has worked hard on his craft. He's taken on a little bit more role with the pass packages and recognizing coverages and in fronts, and putting a little bit more on him that, and he's really responded, and he's improved. Obviously with the summer we had, that's some of that stuff takes live reps. You got to see a live pass rush. You got to see live coverages, and and as we've progressed here the past couple of weeks, he's really, made good on the off-season work that he's done in the weight room, and really looks the part, and is handling himself like a returning starter there at the quarterback position.
Coach, I want to go back to 2019, and I know I'm probably chronologically out of order, and I apologize for that, but you can't teach experience, and the fact that you guys had 4 extra games to play as you were a playoff team and you got to the state semifinals, unfortunately losing to a Licking Valley team by 1 point in the state semifinals, but you had an opportunity to play 4 extra games. That is so much more important from an experience standpoint than any off-season weightlifting program. Would you agree with that? And the fact that you guys, your young kids were given 4 extra games, is that going to help your program now and in the future?
Oh yeah, I mean certainly there's no substitute for experience. You have 3 of those offensive linemen. You mentioned Ethan, you mentioned Carter. Nate Williams at center played 14 games there as well. And the other thing I'll think, I don't even know if it gets mentioned, is it wasn't just the guys playing, but you also, those guys that were playing scout team and those backup guys, they got a lot of meaningful reps. I mean, those playoff practices are pretty intense. They were long. They were, so everybody involved that long of a season benefited from it in one way or another. Even if it was a scout team guy that now we're relying on, to get some meaningful reps, he had some, good practice time. I mean, albeit, almost a year ago, but still, to your point is that absolutely there's no substitute for game experience and preparation experience, that's for sure.
Poland takes on the Hubbard Eagles. Hubbard is 4-0 on the campaign. You guys are 3-1. It's in your place. Talk a little bit about Hubbard. What have you seen on film from Coach Hoffman's team that has impressed you?
Well, obviously the tailback in Caffey is he's very talented. He's kind of a low center of gravity. He's got a good burst to him. Got some breakaway speed as well. We've seen him pull away from some defenses, but he's a guy that can carry it 30 times a game and kind of take the grind that goes with that, and you never know when he's going to get a big run. Now, that's the thing that he's a big play potential. Certainly, they always do a good job with their offensive line and their tight ends, and they run a lot of 2 tight end sets. And the thing with Coach Hoffman over the years, and we've gone against him for his whole time at Hubbard, is he always finds a way to utilize his talent. He's got good backs, he gets them the ball. If he's got good wideouts, so they're well coached. They utilize their talent. They've the big back up front. An offensive line is younger, but they're always well coached. They always know their schemes. They can adjust as the game goes on, and so they're a very formidable opponent, and that's why it's been such a kind of a rivalry game the past decade, I guess, is because they are they're well coached. They got good kids, and and it has been a pretty good rivalry the past couple of years.
You guys were able to hammer them up in Hubbard 42-7 late in the regular season, week 9. Which, interestingly enough, you're playing the this team in the penultimate week of the shortened 2020 campaign. I'm sure that you're going to have a bunch of angry Hubbard Eagle players that are going to want a little retribution from last year's game. Not that anything was going on. It was just when you lose 42-7, you want to get a little revenge the next year. Do you expect a hard hitting physical type of game on Friday night, Coach?
Oh, no doubt. They're a physical team. They like to run the football. We like to run the football. When you're, coming off the kind of year we had, and we know that there's a target on your back. That's, part of being here at Poland is that notion that, you have to prepare to get everyone's best game. Whatever a team does best, you're going to get the best that they got. That's how we try to, kind of teach our kids that and put that kind of chip on our shoulder all week long, that whoever you're playing, you're going to get their best. They want to beat you, and it kind of, it always adds a layer to our preparation, I think.
Well, let me talk about that, because you guys coming off a state semifinal performance, the returning letterman, and you have 17, give or take a few, coming back this year. Did everyone after that loss to Licking Valley, the underclassmen, come together and say, we're going to be back and we're going to finish what we started this year?
Oh, no doubt. That was, that's the next progression of goals, is you want to achieve more than those that came before you. There's no doubt about it. Generate, that's what, fathers to sons and et cetera. You hope to do better than those that came before you. And that's high expectations, and it's certainly not an easy task. That was a tremendous team last year, and a lot of things went our way as we went. But yeah, absolutely. Our seniors are committed to that, kind of that the sky's the limit, and let's go out and take care of this unfinished business. That's a special feeling walking out there on the field in week 14 at Paul Brown, and not one kid that was there will ever forget what that felt like. And so, absolutely, that's the goal, to get back to that feeling and then get one more.
Let me ask you, as you guys are preparing for Hubbard, after this game, the coaches in Division 4, Region 13 are all going to get together. They're going to seed the teams top to bottom. Do you expect a high seed with your team for the upcoming tournament, Coach?
Ron, I'll be honest with you. I haven't thought anything about it. We're still making, what I see is, scrimmage mistakes in ball games. We got to fix some things. I haven't really spent any time looking at that. Whoever they tell me we play, we'll prepare the team the best we can. I truly haven't thought much about that.
Let me ask then. You were talking about scrimmage type mistakes, and we're in a shortened season. Does that have anything to do with the fact that here we are coming up on week number 5? It would be halfway through a normal season, but being that it's a 6-week season, now we're toward the end of a COVID shortened season. The fact that we had COVID and there was doubts up until maybe the last week or so before the start of the regular season, if we were even going to have a regular season. Is that one of the main reasons why there could be mistakes, not just with you guys, but throughout high school football in the state of Ohio?
Yeah, absolutely. You're saying it's close to the end of the season based on COVID, but if you look at the amount of time, you took away 7-on-7, so there's a lot of formations and route packages and coverage things, mistakes that you need to fix. We lost 7-on-7 time, and we lost those scrimmages. You could argue that if week 1's a scrimmage too, this is like our second week, or third week of the season, let alone it's 2 games at the end of the season. If you count, normally you get 3 weeks of doubles and 2 scrimmages and some 7-on-7s, and like for us, we weren't in pads until the week before we played South. The week we played South Range was the first time we were in pads, because we were off 14 days of. So we're making mistakes that should have been made in August, and things that would have, personnel, a little tweak here or there, finding this kid can do this, or this kid, needs to be here. We're doing that stuff now, and usually that's mid to late August stuff. We really are, just the nature of it is you get 3 weeks and 2 scrimmages, and we just haven't been there. So, there's lots of mistakes, lots of coaching going on, lots of, correcting, and lots of things that we're trying to improve upon. And yeah, it is. The clock's ticking, the season's, kind of on paper wrapping up, but there's a lot of things that we're still at the early phases of kind of evaluating our team and our kids and putting the best product we can out there.
Coach, do you find with a veteran team, under a normal circumstances, you would be teaching and not much coaching because, well, the guys are coached up and they're upperclassmen and most of the kids are seniors, so you not necessarily need to coach them or teach them. It's more of coaching. Do you find that now that this season has been cut into the nth degree, do you find that you and your coaching staff are doing more teaching than coaching this year?
Our staff is great. Everyone on our staff, everybody on our staff is a teacher, and most of them are teachers in our district. There's a few guys but so, I kind of see it as hand in hand. I mean, we've always prided ourselves on our kids being coachable, and the guys that are hired by the board to coach are good. They're good teachers first, and I think that it's kind of one and the same. I mean, it's finding out what your kids can do and just ask them to do that, and and evaluate them, hold them to that standard. And I think that I think we've been doing a lot of both here this summer, and in a short period of time.
Well, if I weren't busy, I would certainly get the popcorn and head over to Poland Friday night to see this ball game, because I think this one might be the game of the week for a lot of reasons. This has the makings of an unbelievably entertaining game on Friday night. Best of luck to you against Hubbard, and as you conclude the season against Struthers and on into the postseason, and we'll catch up soon, Coach Williams.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate all you do for our kids, and keep up the good work, Ron.
I appreciate it, sir. Ryan Williams, the head football coach of the Poland Bulldogs, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. I'll tell you, the NE8 is just a knockdown, drag-out conference. I mean, you got South Range, the smallest school enrollment-wise. They're undefeated through 4 games. You got Hubbard undefeated through 4. You got in better shape than that. 2-2 Niles, and once again, a much better team than the record would indicate. This solid league, and unfortunately, Jefferson and Lakeview, they've been struggling this year, but I know that better things are ahead for both teams. But this year it's been just a knockdown, drag out type of league, and I think when the powers that be got this league together, this was what they were envisioning. That week in, week out, there would be just an absolute great game. Every game in the league would potentially be a great game, and well done for the people to put this league together. This is a fantastic league. And Poland, coming off the season opening loss to South Range, they've ripped off victories against Niles, Girard, and Lakeview. They take on undefeated Hubbard tomorrow night at Poland High School. All right, we'll take a timeout. Be back and open up the phone lines. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open 330-886-0813. Back in a bit. It's a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions, reminding you that it is open enrollment for Medicare.
Now through December 7th, those who qualify can visit our local independent agency by calling us at 330-953-3722 or visiting us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Attention all football fans. If you can't see your team play, come and dine with us and watch it live at Boardman, Canfield, or Cortland. or staying at home, we'll deliver right to your door. That's Coca's Pizza. We serve it hot.
2020 will be a season like we've never seen before, but 21 Sports and YSN will be there for every key moment. The plays, the players, and the stories that will headline this season. Delivered by 21 Sports and YSN.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is here, so it's all hands on deck to make sure your plans still meet your needs for 2020.
Call us today.
You may find yourself in some difficulty this winter. Don't get whacked by high heating bills. Call Michael at MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Michael is a trusted friend who will be able to help you with many things, like getting a 95% high-efficiency furnace this winter from Rude. Michael relies on Rude, so should you. Call MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning for a free estimate, 330-259-0486, and take care of your heating and air situation.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Did want to let everyone know Pirates are playing an afternoon game against the Cubbies, and the Pirates trying to play some spoiler role here as we're getting ever so close to the end of the regular season. The Pirates are long since been eliminated. It's been a tough year, to say the least, for the Buccos, but they have an opportunity to play spoiler role. They're playing the Chicago Cubs. They have beaten the Cubs in the last two meetings, and they're looking for their third win in a row against the Cubbies at PNC, and so far so good. 3 solo home runs off of Alec Mills in the early stages of today's game. Colin Moran got a first-inning home run off of Mills, his 9th of the year. Then Mr. Reynolds got a second-inning home run, his 6th of the year. And then Mr. Frazier said, well, let me join in on the fun. And he led off the bottom of the third inning with a solo shot. So the Bucks have a 3-0 lead on the Cubs. Chad Kuhl is the beneficiary of those 3 runs. Now, playing spoiler role, and they have an opportunity to. Let me invite you to look at the National League standings for just a second. Yes, the Cubs have a 3.5 game lead on the St. Louis Cardinals. However, it's just 2 in the loss column. And the Cardinals are 53 games in. They are not going to play 60 games this year. They had the COVID and they had the number of games that were lost. I believe the Cardinals are going to be somewhere in the vicinity of 57 games that they will play because they have single games the rest of the season. So they're going to be at 57. So they're going to be short of the 60 games. But if you remember when they were just way behind everyone. A lot of folks were wondering, man, are these guys even going to be, 50 games? Well, they're going to wind up playing 57 games. They have a weekend series with Milwaukee. Cubs have not won the division yet. And let me remind everyone, the Cubs are going to be playing their arch rival from the south end of the Windy City. The Chicago White Sox. And the White Sox have something to play for because they've pissed away their division lead. They're now in second place in the American League Central, courtesy of the Indians, who have knocked off the White Sox 3 straight times. So the Cubs and the White Sox, both of those teams, have a division aspiration, a division championship aspiration. So Cubs are not going to get off lightly in this. The Cardinals, they open up a series I want to say they open up the series with Milwaukee. I want to make sure that I got that right, and they do. They have a series against Milwaukee, and it's a 4-gamer against the Milwaukee Brewers. And again, Milwaukee, that's a team that is in the thick of things. They're even with Cincinnati in the loss column for one of the wild card spots, and they're battling a number of teams for those 2 coveted wild card spots in the National League. The Pirates are going to be playing the Indians to close out the season. If we flip over to the American League, and I made mention, if the Indians were to have won the first 2 games of this series, things could get interesting. Well, they're interesting. Minnesota has a half a game lead on the White Sox. The Indians are 2.5 games out of first place. Cleveland, as we mentioned, have the season-ending series against the Pirates. You got the White Sox playing the Cubs. Minnesota has a 3-game series coming up starting tomorrow against the Reds, and the Reds are in the middle of the playoff chase. I'm not saying this could happen. And look, Minnesota is off today. They have an off day. So if Cleveland beats Chicago, then Chicago's 1 game out of first place. The Indians are 2 games out of first place, and you go from there. If the Indians lose, then the Central Division pretty much is a bye-bye. They're down 3 games left, and Chicago and Minnesota are tied for first. What slim chance the Indians have, they must win their game against the White Sox tonight. If they do, it's not out of the realm of possibility for the Indians to steal this division. Now, obviously, they'd have to sweep the Pirates, and then you'd have to hope and pray that Minnesota falls apart against Cincinnati and the White Sox fall apart against the Cubs. It's not out of the realm of possibility, though. Just saying. As of right now, as I mentioned, the Indians 2.5 games out of first place, but they're starting to show signs of life. And what a better time to do it than the final week of the regular season, because hopefully that's a springboard into the postseason. And speaking of which, Terry Francona, he's not going to manage, at least for now, but he is going to be traveling with the team, and he will be with the team. But as of right now, it doesn't look like he is going to be managing anytime soon. He has missed most of this year with gastrointestinal problems, where he wound up having surgery, and he is recovering from that surgery. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the Indians can get a real pickup by the return of Terry Francona. Not in the dugout, but maybe the fact that he's going to be with the team, maybe that's going to continue to put the Indians in a good place. They've won their last 4 games, and as of late, their offense has been pretty solid. All right, let's flip the script. Let's talk some high school fall postseason. We've got golf and tennis on our mind here. The boys Division 1, 2, and 3 sectional and district tournaments have been announced. So here you go. Division 1, and we have a number of teams in D1, 6 to be exact. In D1, the sectionals at the Windmill Lakes Golf Course in Ravenna on Monday, October the 5th, which is, I want to say next Monday. Pretty sure it is next Monday. Next Monday, not this coming Monday, but the following Monday. Here are the teams that will be golfing at Windmill Lakes in Ravenna. Fitch, Harding, Howland, Niles, Kent Roosevelt, Streetsboro, Aurora, Chagrin Falls, Twinsburg, Kenston, Solon, Nordonia, Hudson, Cuyahoga Falls, Talmadge, Walsh Jesuit, and Akron-Hoban. Now, in order to go to the districts, you have to have a top 4 team and a top 4 individual not on a qualifying team. They will advance to the district. So best of luck next Monday, not this coming Monday, but next Monday at Windmill Lakes in Ravenna. Best of luck to Fitch, Harding, Howland, and Niles. Over at Tannenhof, which is a nice course over in Alliance, Boardman, Canfield, Alliance, Marlington, Ravenna, Akron Springfield, Greene, North Canton Hoover, Massillon Jackson, Uniontown Lake, Louisville, Akron Ellett, Canton Glen Oak, Canton McKinley, Massillon Perry, and Massillon Washington. That would be the Massillon Tigers, Massillon Washington High School. Again, the top 4 teams and the top 4 individuals not on a qualifying team will advance to the district tournament. And the district tournament will be Monday, October the 12th. So if one of these teams or one of these players were able to get out of the sectionals, they would go to the districts, and the districts will be played in Hinckley at Pine Hills on Monday, October the 12th. And in order to go to the state tournaments, you have to be a top 4 team in the district or a top 4 individual not on a qualifying team to advance to the state. And the Division I state tournament would be held at Ohio State on the Scarlet course, and that will be October 23rd and October 24th. That would be a Friday and a Saturday on the campus of Ohio State University. Division II sectionals over at Windmill Lakes in Ravenna on Tuesday, September the 29th. That is this coming Tuesday. Poland, Lakeview, Struthers, Hubbard, Cardinal Mooney, Ursuline, Girard, Garrettsville, Garfield, Southeast, Rootstown, Waterloo, Mogador Field, Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary. They will all be participating at Windmill Lakes Golf Course in Ravenna. That is this coming Tuesday, September the 29th. The top 3 teams and the top 3 individuals not on a qualifying team will advance to the district. So that is coming up on Tuesday, September the 29th. On Wednesday, September the 30th, the D2 sectionals at the Elms Country Club in Massillon. Here is the lineup there on Wednesday, September the 30th. West Branch, Salem, South Range, Crestview, Canton South, Massillon Tusla, Navarre Fairless, Akron Manchester, Northwest, Orville, Worcester Triway, Apple Creek, Waynedale. Those are the teams that are going to play over at the Elms Country Club in Massillon. Top 3 teams and the top 3 individuals not on a qualifying team will advance to the state tournament. And yet we have another sectional at Quail Hollow in Concord. Champion, Berkshire, Jefferson, Ashtabula, Edgewood, Conneaut, Lake Catholic, Kirtland, Perry, West Geauga, Wycliffe, Hawken, Notre Dame Cathedral Latin, and Villa Angela St. Joe's. Top 3 teams and top 3 individuals not on a qualifying team will advance to the district. District tournament will be on Tuesday, October the 6th, 1 week after the sectional tournament for those in Ravenna and Concord, and 6 days after the sectional tournament at the Elms Country Club in Massillon. In the district, top 3 teams and top 3 individuals not on a qualifying team will advance to the state. And the state tournament will be October the 16th and 17th. That is 1 week before the Division I state tournament. And the state tournament will be on the Scarlet course at Ohio State. Division III. Your sectionals, this first sectional will be on Wednesday, September the 30th, and that is 6 days from now. 6 days from now, here is your sectional tournament at Riverview in Braceville. Brookfield, Liberty, LeBray, Mineral Ridge, Newton Falls, Badger, Maplewood, Jackson Milton, Warren JFK, Matthews, Wyndham, Pie Valley, Chalker, Cardinal, Ashtabula St. John, and Fairport Harbor. Top 3 teams and the top 3 individuals not on a qualifying team will advance to the district. The other sectional tournament will be held on Tuesday, September 29th, 5 days from now, at the Salem Hills Golf Course in Salem. Springfield, McDonald, East Palestine, Columbiana, Sebring, Leetonia, Lowellville, Heartland Christian, United, Lisbon, Wellsville, Southern, St. Thomas Aquinas, Mogador, Canton Central Catholic, and Lake Center Christian. All of those teams will be competing at Salem Hills in Salem. Gorgeous course, by the way. Top 3 teams and top 3 individuals not on a qualifying team will advance to the district. And the district tournament will be on Thursday, October the 8th at Tannenhof Golf Course in Alliance. Top 3 teams and the top 3 individuals not on a qualifying team will advance to the state. And the state tournament, unfortunately, it will not be at Ohio State. The small schools always get screwed when it comes to this stuff. Seriously. I understand. I get the reason why, because we're small, and I get that, but they get hosed. They do. I'm sorry, they get hosed. State tournaments are going to be at North Star in Sunbury, and that's going to be on October the 16th and the 17th. Just 2 divisions in girls golf. Division 1 sectional will be played at Pine Lakes, another good course. Pine Lakes and Hubbard will have a sectional tournament for the girls' D1 schools. This is going to be on Monday, October the 5th. And the schools that are going to be appearing in this are Fitch, Boardman, Howland, Canfield, Niles, West Branch, Ashtabula Lakeside, Geneva, Painesville, Harvey, Madison, Menor, Kenston, Chagrin Falls, Chardon, Hathaway Brown, Notre Dame Cathedral Latin, Shaker Heights, and Akron Hoban. The top 4 teams and the top 4 individuals not on a qualifying team will advance to the district. District tournament will be held, I want to say, on the 12th of October at Ellsworth Meadows in Hudson. And the top 4 teams and top 4 individuals not on a qualifying list, or on a qualifying team, I should say, will advance to the state. The state tournament will be held October 23rd and 24th, the same time as the boys. The boys will be on the Scarlet course. The girls will be on the Gray course, playing on the campus of Ohio State University. Division 2 sectional tournament at Pine Lakes and Hubbard. This is going to be this coming Monday. So a few days from now. Here's your lineup: Poland, Lakeview, Salem, South Range, Struthers, Mooney, Hubbard, LeBray, Springfield, Ursuline, Pie Valley, McDonald, Matthews, Leetonia, Lowellville, Crestview, Columbiana, Badger, JFK, East Palestine, Sebring, Heartland Christian, Southeast, and United. The top 4 teams and the top 4 individuals not on a qualifying team will advance to the districts. The other sectional will be in Newberry on Monday, September the 28th. And here we go with this sectional. Champion, Garrettsville, Garfield, Bristol, Chalker, Berkshire, Cardinal, Rootstown, Ravenna, Ashtabula, Edgewood, Conneaut, Gilmore Academy, Hawkins School, Villa Angeles, St. Joe's, Andrews Osborne, Wycliffe, Perry, Orange, Laurel, Lake Catholic, Independence, Holy Name, Cuyahoga Heights, Cleveland Beaumont, and Cleveland JFK. The top 4 teams and the top 4 individuals not on a qualifying team will advance to the district. District tournament for the girls will be on Tuesday, October the 6th. The top 3 teams during the districts at Sable Creek Golf Course in Hartville. Top 3 teams and the top 3 individuals not on a qualifying team will advance to the state. And the state tournaments will be played October the 16th and 17th at Ohio State on the Gray course. So there's your golf tournaments that will be coming up in the near future. Girls tennis, Division I sectional tournaments will be held at Jackson Park in Canton on October the 6th, the 8th, and the 10th. teams that are going to be in the sectional tournament from Jackson Park and Canton include Austintown Fitch, Boardman, Canfield, Alliance, Uniontown Lake, Greene, Louisville, North Canton Hoover, Canton Glen Oak, Canton McKinley, Massillon Jackson, Massillon Perry, Massillon, Wadsworth, New Philadelphia, Dover, and Akron North. Top 4 singles and doubles teams advance to the district. At Solon Community Park, the other Division I sectional will be October the 5th, 6th, and 7th. Your teams include Howland, Ashtabula Lakeside, Chardon, Kenston, Madison, Painesville Riverside, Menor, Eastlake North, Willoughby South, Solon, Mayfield, Cleveland Heights, Brush, Aurora, Twinsburg, Shaker Heights, and Hudson. Top 4 singles and doubles teams advance to the district. The districts will be October 15th and 17th at Springside Club in Akron. The top 6 singles and doubles teams will advance to the state, and the state tournament will be at the Lindner Tennis Center in Mason, which is just outside of Columbus. That'll be on October the 23rd and the 24th. Division II girls tennis. This will be at Boardman. The sectional is at Boardman on October the 5th and the 10th. Your lineup includes Poland, Lakeview, Salem, West Branch, Cardinal Mooney, Ursuline, Struthers, Liberty, East Palestine, Kennedy, McDonald, Lordstown, United, Southeast, and Marlington. The top 4 singles and top 4 doubles teams will advance to the district. The district will be played October the 16th and the 17th at Springside Club in Akron. And the top 5 singles and top 5 doubles teams will advance to the state. And the state tournament will be held at the Lindner Tennis Center in Mason, again, just outside of Columbus. That will be on October the 23rd and the 24th. So there you go. That's a rundown on the boys and girls golf tournaments and the girls tennis tournaments coming up in the near future. And best of luck to all of the boys and girls golf programs in our YSN family, as well as the girls tennis teams in our YSN family as well. Take a timeout, be back with more. 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline open for business. Back in a bit. Stick around.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
Armstrong Local Programming has always delivered an exclusive and unique perspective on the very best events your region offers. High school sports, community events, parades, all your favorite shows from Armstrong are now calling the Neighborhood Channel their home.
Watch Out and About, Locally Speaking, and many other great local shows right here on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Find out everything that the Neighborhood Channel has to offer at ArmstrongNeighborhood.com. Spirit, town pride, local communities. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Points on YSNLive.com. Wanted to bring in something that kind of sort of has something to do with the high school football here in Ohio and the ramifications from our neighbors to the east. A federal judge ruled that Pennsylvania's statewide pandemic limits on crowd size was BS. And Pennsylvania school districts are now going to allow more fans in the stands after the federal judge basically shut down Governor Wolf's gathering restrictions, which had been set at 25 indoor and 250 outdoor until last week's court ruling. The Wolf administration is appealing the ruling, but in my last place that I had in minor league baseball was Altoona. Altoona has a very large stadium, Mansion Park Stadium, and they have a great rivalry with Hollidaysburg, which is to the south of Altoona. And they're now going to allow 3,400 spectators at Mansion Park Stadium. That's 33% of the capacity, by the way. So the place holds about 10,200, and that's Friday's game. And that's going to be a regular season game. The last game of the year is against Hollidaysburg, and they're going to allow more than 5,000 to attend that rivalry game. So I'm wondering, and look, there's been snarky comments made one way or the other with everything going on both sides of the aisle all season long about whether or not fans are going to be allowed into the more than 15% capacity. Look, I'll be curious. I'll be very curious now seeing that the state of Pennsylvania and a federal judge in the Keystone State just basically took Tom Wolf's law and said, screw you, and slapped it down. I'm wondering if there's going to be a federal judge in the Buckeye State that does the same thing to Governor DeWine. It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. Look, as much as everyone has complained, for lack of a better term, about the 15% capacity, and for a lot of the smaller schools, that's a real kick in the pants when it comes to not having as much of a payroll or as much of a gate in the home games, especially for teams that are having unbelievable years, and I'll gladly put my alma mater at the top of the list in Leetonia. You would think that gate, in any of their games in their undefeated season would have been huge, a lot bigger than what we have now. But as we get closer and closer to the state playoffs, I wonder if there is a federal judge that's going to look at Governor DeWine's law or his plan of 15% of capacity or 1,500 in a stadium. I wonder if there is a federal judge that's going to do the same thing to Governor DeWine that a federal judge in PA did to Tom Wolf's gathering restriction policy. Because I think it's coming. I don't think the OHSAA is going to have anything to do with this. They're playing by the rules of Governor DeWine. But it's interesting that the state of Pennsylvania has, or at least a federal judge finally said, yeah, okay, we've had enough of this garbage, and let's bring some people in. And like I said, in Altoona, they're going to allow 3,400 people at Mansion Park Stadium, which is a third of its capacity for this week's game. And then next week when they take on Hollidaysburg, they're going to allow more than 5,000, which is over half or close to half of the capacity in Altoona. So I'm just wondering, as we get closer and closer to the playoffs, if a federal judge in Ohio is going to follow suit and do the same thing. Because, yes, COVID is still very much prevalent, but it's not where a lot of people thought it was going to be. I'll be honest, I'm surprised that we have high school football this year, because I honestly, if you would have talked with me in May or June, I'd have sat back and said the chances of the high school football season going without a hitch next to zero, and the chances of playing high school football next to zero. But we have found a way to get it done. And now there have been a few hiccups. You know, Coach Williams, we had him on earlier. Poland was ill-prepared for week number 1, and it wasn't because of anything with injuries or anything like that. They had COVID. They had COVID concerns, and they were shut down for a couple of weeks, and it showed in week number 1. No excuses. That's just reality. It definitely showed in week 1 in their loss to South Range. They were not prepared for the game because, frankly, they didn't have enough time, because they were shut down from COVID. We see Champion is not going to be able to play their game against Brookfield tomorrow night because of COVID concerns. So there are some issues every once in a while, but by and large, this area has, knock on wood, this area has been doing pretty well by and large. And I just wonder, and obviously we're a small snapshot of the entire state of Ohio. I mean, we're a very tiny snapshot in terms of the entire state. And the entire state, there have been more problems up in the Cleveland area. There have been more problems in Columbus and Cincinnati, mainly because they're larger cities. But I'll be real curious as we get closer to the start of the playoffs. I wonder if there is going to be a ruling from a federal judge or someone in the state of Ohio where they're going to follow suit, and someone's going to look at what Pennsylvania just did, and somebody's going to say, you know what, I think we can do the same thing, and let's start bringing more people into these stadiums. It wouldn't surprise me. And contrary to what a lot of people are saying, the OHSAA has nothing to do with this. They don't. They're going to be playing by the rules set forth by Governor DeWine. Now, if someone on the bench decides that they want to supersede the rules, just like a federal judge did in the Keystone State with Governor Tom Wolf, well, then that's going to happen. And again, the Wolf administration is appealing the ruling, but a number of districts, according to the Associated Press article, a number of districts have already opted to do whatever they want to do. And again, if you can put 33% of capacity and then 50% of capacity in your stadium, have at it. And that's what they're doing over in Pennsylvania. So it'll be interesting. It'll be very, very interesting to see what happens as we get closer and closer to the postseason. The other thing that's going to be interesting is how many of these really good teams record-wise this year, how many of our really good teams record-wise are going to wind up with a first-round bye? Because today is the last day to get out of the state tournament without any penalty. And I'll be curious to see how many teams take advantage of that. I don't believe there will be many in the Mahoning Valley to do it. But I'll be really curious when we have the coaches vote for the seeds next week after week 5. And then the tournament is announced, and that is going to be 1 week from today. 1 week from today, we will already know the round 1 opponents for everybody in the viewing area. Everyone in the YSN family will know their first round opponent. I'll be curious to see how many of our local teams earn a bye as being one of the top seeds in divisions 2 through 7. That's something that we'll definitely talk about as we get closer and closer to the final week of the regular season. All right, that'll do it for the Thursday edition of Running Points. Power Hour is coming up next. Tomorrow, we'll try to get some more coaches on board. I know TJ Parker from Austintown Fitch, he's going to be set to joining me tomorrow afternoon as Austintown has an interesting game on Saturday. And it's interesting for a couple of reasons. The biggest now, the fact that Benedictine was moved from D2 Region 6 to D2 Region 5, the region Fitch is in. So this might be the first of 2 meetings between Austintown Fitch and Cleveland Benedictine. We'll catch up with the head football coach of the Fitch Falcons, TJ Parker. That will be coming up tomorrow, amongst other coaches that we'll get in on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. That'll do it for the show. Power Hour is coming up next. We will talk tomorrow, noon to 3, YSN Live